What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is Sunny from personalmasteryquest.com, and today I have a very special video in which I want to discuss one of the most important concepts that you need to become aware of, and one of the most important things that you need to master on your journey to personal mastery, on your journey to whatever goal that you have set for yourself. And that concept, as the title mentioned, is the duality of your mind. Now, throughout this journey to whatever goal you have set for yourself, you will go through a lot of good days and you will go through a lot of bad days. You will go through a lot of positive energy and you will go through a lot of negative energy. And throughout all of those phases, you need to maintain the firm will to have what you desire. What do I mean by maintaining a firm will to have what you desire? It means to rest in the awareness that what you want will be yours. That what you want is already yours. That your goal is simply a choice that you have made, which is inevitably going to be yours in this physical reality. And you have to rest in the fulfillment of that goal throughout your journey to your goal. You have to maintain that firm willingness that yes, I will have what I desire. Now, me just saying that probably makes a lot of you uncomfortable because you are constantly used to all of these fears and doubts coming up for you all the time. And just the concept of always maintaining a firm will to have and resting in the fulfillment of your goal probably makes you feel like that's impossible. But it's not, if you master this duality of mind. Now, let's exactly go deeper into that concept. You have to understand that your mind only knows something by also knowing its opposite. And this is something that most people are completely unaware of, right? Like, your mind can only comprehend something when it makes a comparison to something else. For example, your mind only knows cold because it knows hot. If it didn't know hot, then there could be no cold. If cold was the only temperature, then that would be the only thing. We wouldn't even name it. It would just be life. It would just be reality, right? Because we didn't have anything to compare it to. You know, if life was always just daytime, then you wouldn't know night. But because you don't know night, you wouldn't even know day. You wouldn't even call it day. It would just be life. I hope this is kind of making sense. Your mind can only know something by also knowing its opposite. It can only know good because bad exists. It can only know fat because skinny exists. You know, it can only know positive because negative exists. And throughout your journey of life, ever since you were born and until the day you die, you are going to go through a lot of bad, what you personally will consider to be bad, in order to realize what is good for you, yourself. Because bad is really relative, right? What is bad for you might be good for me. So for your personal journey, you have to come to know yourself better. And the way you come to know yourself better so that you can express yourself even better and, you know, create the life that you really want, you have to go through a lot of bad, a lot of negative experiences so that you can come to know what it is that you do want, you know, what you do consider to be positive. And that's really the whole purpose of there being bad in this reality. A lot of us fight against the bad. We resist the bad, the negative, and we label it as something bad. You know, even the word bad has like a bad connotation to it. And without the bad, you would never know what you actually like. So that's the whole function of bad. That's the whole purpose of bad. Now, when you set a goal for yourself and you're on the journey to that goal, you have a lot of bad days. You have a lot of contrast on your journey. And within those bad times, you have to, instead of giving into the bad, you have to become reflective of what this bad is trying to show you, what it is trying to hint to you about something that you do like or what you do want. Because here's the thing, if throughout those bad days and throughout whenever you go through any negative phase, negative energy phase, if you fall into the negative energy and you completely give into it and you completely just fall into the reality of the bad, then you miss the whole point of the bad. If you start to think that the bad is the only thing there is because that's all that's ever been in your life, then you miss the point of the whole journey. Because the bad is only there, doesn't matter how much of it is there, but it is only there to show you what you do like. And the longer you delay this decision, this realization of what you do want, and the more you just keep focusing on the bad, the greater the bad gets to really hint to you like, no, okay, what do you want? What do you want? But if you just continue to give into the bad and focus on the bad, then you never realize what's good for you. Then you never create what's good for you. And then the bad just keeps getting bigger and bigger. This might be a lot for you to take in right now. So if you want to pause the video and really reflect over your life, where every single time you reacted to the bad and just fell into its vibration, now would be a good time to do so. But that's what I really mean about mastering the duality of mind on your journey to personal mastery, on your journey to your goal. Because good and bad days are inevitable, right? Like even me, the person on YouTube who is preaching all these positive concepts and, you know, create your own reality things all the time, I have a lot of bad days as well. But the thing is though, now I have cultivated this awareness that allows me to realize the bad days for what they are. Instead of resisting the bad days, instead of falling into them and completely giving into them and letting go of my will to have, I start to now reflect, right? Like the bad days are the perfect time for reflection and not doing. You simply come back rather than giving your attention completely outside. You retrieve some of that attention and then you bring it back inwards and really ask yourself, okay, what is this experience trying to teach me? What can I learn from this? What can I learn from this about not only life, but just myself? Because you can learn a lot more about your own self just through whatever you're going through. And if you use the bad to simply learn lessons rather than asking why is this happening to me or start to resist the bad, then throughout the bad you can maintain that firm will to have. Here's the thing, if you're constantly falling into the bad and resisting the bad, and if during the bad times you completely freak out and have a lot of fears and you give into your fears and you start to think that no, what you want is not possible for you, if you constantly go through those phases and you fall into them, then really you will not have what you want. Because what happens is that, okay, if you go through good days and you're like, oh yeah, it's possible, I'm on my way. But then if you fall into those bad experiences and you completely lose yourself and you let go of that belief, now you're just fluctuating between the two beliefs. And the power of your intention it's not focused enough to really create what you want in your life. So what you're doing is you're intending for what you want to create, and then in the positive days, and then in the negative days, you're completely letting go of that intention. You're creating counter intentions. By giving into your fears, you are counter intending like what you actually want to create. So what happens is it just balances out and nothing really changes in your life. And this is the phase that most people go through because they have not mastered the duality of mind. So what does it look like if you do master this duality, right? Like when you become more and more aware of this duality, what happens is that during the good days, it's easy, right? Everything seems possible. You're high energy, you're taking amazing action, everything is going smoothly. But inevitably, you do come across certain negative situations, negative scenarios, negative people. And then during those days, you become reflective. Instead of allowing the bad to rule your mind, instead of becoming reactive to the bad, you simply start to be like, okay, what lesson can I learn from this? And because of that, you don't give in to those fears and that anxiety of, damn, will I achieve my goal? You still rest in the fulfillment. You still rest in the will to have. but now you actually use the bad to make your next positive phase even greater. In order to maintain this firm will, and in order to really rest in the awareness, there are two components that come to it. You have to train your will, and you have to train your attention. You have to always remain that silent observer behind the scenes, just watching the ups and downs of your life. You cannot let the ups and downs of your life rule your internal state. Anytime you allow your external world to rule how you feel in the inner world, then you're becoming reactive. Then you give in to that negativity. Then you are no longer the creator of your reality. You're just creating on default. So you have to train your will. And the way you do that is meditation. And we always come back to this topic. I feel like you guys hate me for this, but meditation is your greatest tool to hone your will, which your will is the greatest tool you have for your personal growth journey, whereas meditation is your greatest tool to train your will. And I know a lot of people who, you know, say that I can't meditate at all, like, you know, I can't even sit down for 15 minutes. And that's because you have a really weak will. I don't mean this, I don't say this to offend you at all. Don't worry, I've been there too. But right now, your will is really weak, where you can't even hold your attention to a certain subject or thought or nothingness for like even 15 minutes. And if you can't do that, then surely when negative times come, you're not going to be able to control your attention then either. You're not going to have the will that is strong enough to remain the observer when negative times come. So what you need to do is, when there's still positive times around, or when there's neutral times, you need to train your will. You need to train your attention through meditation. And you need to become less reactive to what's happening on the outside. As you do this, this isn't like a quick fix, but this is a fix that actually works. And this is the only thing that is actually really worth doing in life. Because once you can control your will, then you can start controlling your reality. But there's no creating your own reality until you start to master your will, master the duality of reality, of your mind. So I know it's a dense video, but truly this is one of the most important videos that you'll probably see from me on this channel. I'll probably even put it on my front page, because this is something that you must understand. Even if you seek coaching from me or anybody else, you know, I can direct you for however long, right, on our calls or whatnot. You can watch as many YouTube videos as you want, but at the end of the day, it is you, right? You are going out in your life alone by yourself to create the change that you want in your life. And when you are by yourself, you are gonna go through all these ups and downs. And during those ups and downs, you have to maintain the firm will to have. If you get coaching with me, I can't constantly be, you know, right next to you, walking around with you, always just motivating you or, you know, being there for you. You have to be there for yourself as well. And once you start to train your will, it all starts to become easy. You know, that's why meditation is preached for thousands and thousands of years, because it's meant to bring the control of your reality of your life back to you. And that's exactly what it does. So today, start with even 15 minutes if you can. Every single day, make it a habit. This should be your greatest priority in life, because once you kind of get better at this, you can get better at all areas of your life, okay? Start to master this duality. Remain the observer in difficult times and positive times. Don't lose yourself in the ups and downs of life. Remain the silent observer behind the scenes, just watching it all, knowing that everything is good, everything is okay, and that your goals are simply a choice that you have made, and they are yours. They are already yours, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up and share this video with a friend who would also find it helpful. If you have any questions about this, put them in the comment section below. But other than that, if you would like to get coaching with me one-on-one, the link for that is in the description box below as well. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.